Franco to turn things around would come out, it would be very late in the draft. Here we are, speaking of game number 3 is afoot. The Kingdom up against a corner, 1 game loss away from being knocked down into the lower bracket. Team Liquid ID looking to hit it where it hurts, strike the king, make sure that they fall. RRQ on the play, banning out the Fanny and the Hilda, respect to Aran. Liquid ID banning out the same heroes for the first 2, Yushin and Matilda.
I like that they finally ban out the Hilda. I think it's a really important ban. It's been getting through, and Iran is just a monster on it. And the Hilda itself is already a very troublesome hero for a lot of teams. So RRQ switching things up, and I think it's the right approach.
Now, with this Cho being banned out, does this open up the door maybe for the Bruno to be picked up first for RRQ? I mean, they could still try and lock in Skylar and something a little bit more comfortable. Maybe even that Wanwan could sneak up in here.
See, that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But what follows and how
Bruno's solid.
How Liquid ID plays the response to the power pick Bruno in the middle of the draft is what really matters. So I think it's safe to say if it is open, just take it.
It's the power of the 2-pick swing from the red side, which can hit like a truck, and that's what RRQ is going to be facing right now.
Which is why I'm surprised RRQ continues to pick blue side when they favored red so much. It's like that first game really kind of pushed them back, but here goes the risk. Here goes the roll of the dice. Instead of first picking the Bruno, they go for the Suyo. Quick response with the glue and the Bruno.
Yeah. With this glue, super early. A little surprising for me, but a response back from RRQ. I was waiting to see it. I thought TLID would have picked it up, but it's going to go into the hands of RRQ Hoshi alongside the Phoveus.
All right, a couple of power picks came through. I'd say a few rather, because even Phoveus, prior banned over and over again in the series. The glue as well. I wonder if that was worth it for Liquid ID as they close up the first phase with the Joy.
I was about to say it, the Franco. This would have been the game for it.
They have their eyes on Edok. No way, no sir.
It would have felt good after this TLID, maybe even ban out the Wanwan just to really limit down onto RRQ here. But at this point, in this phase of the game, I like TLID's draft. They get the Bruno, they have the Suyo counter with the Joy. It feels comfortable. A lot of things on RRQ comes down to how this Yeve's going to be able to be played, how they can lock down, what are going to be these final bans. Leo, you got something to say?
What?
What's up? I said you got something.
Yes, I do.
Right.
How worthy is this glue?
The glue?
Because they picked it up early and they had an instant response. I think the glue is going to keep the Phoveus in hostage in lane.
It checks out.
I think the glue's going to not only keep the Phoveus in lane, but do a great job at diving onto this Yeve and helping deal with the Suyo when the time comes. Like, just consistently jumping around.
But we got to ask, who's going to stop the Joy? There's nothing really to stop Joy in the tracks. Even when you drop down the RWM, it's going to be a challenge.
Question, does RRQ have a Belric?
Magic is my life.
We're going to find out here momentarily. I mean, it could be a wise answer. Put up against it. Not something we see picked up often, but it has slipped through the cracks.
It's been like the singular, it's been one of the answers to the Joy, right? But it's even then, it feels like it's been a little shaky. It's a risky pick.
It doesn't feel very RRQ, especially with their first phase here.
That's fair to say. I mean, RRQ right now, their backs are against the wall. You know, they have this Phoveus. Hold on, wait a second. Okay, Mathilda is gone. So Phoveus, when you get into the heart of the battle, you're going to have to worry about this glue for one.
Yep.
And then it's going to be hard to chase down a Joy. Then on top of that...
You got Aaron Shiki just kicking you in the face.
Yes! How's he going to get out?
And it looks like Liquid ID have allowed the Granger. It looks like that's the only pick left for Skylar here. Unless he has something left in the tank. A Beatrix?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, you still have the Wanwan, but he normally only pairs that up when he has a Cho, when they have the Franco, when they have something that has some hard lock to allow Skylar to capitalize on it. So I feel like, yes, Granger probably the only choice. TLID needs to pick Rome at this point. Do they go for the Tig, maybe?
That's what I was about to say. Well, Tig can go on both sides, too. So I think it's a high-value target. Should lock it in, but they're going to go in for the Valentina instead, so we're going to have double artillery for both sides.
It's very rare that...
Oh!
Edok does have it. I was about to say, very rare that Yehezkiel actually puts himself in the crossfire. The Ghost of Jakarta likes to play fair. He likes to play safe. So picking the Valentina here is definitely going to get him closer to the front lines. How do they close the draft up? They still need a solid roamer. What's Witty the Wise going to play here? No Cho, no Chip.
Tig. I mean, it's still on the table.
Tilda not open. Yeah, Tig.
There's not too many options.
Does he get thought? Hylos?
Hylos is open. Could be solid. You get the revitalize. You have plenty of options.
It's a counter, well, soft counter to the real world, you know, like you're able to pull yourself out. Yeet.
Well, as the clock winds down,
like
we are going to go ahead and see the Carmilla as the final pick for TLID.
Little Birdie told me that if there's nothing left to pick, Weedy just goes Carmilla. So
when they can't think of anything, it's just, all right, let's do Carmilla.
It's just a solid pick. So let's see if TLID can go for the throat here, end the series in a sweep. Let's go over to Jose Ingan and Naisu.
Thank you very much, panel, for breaking down, again, Game 3's draft. I think I know the little birdie they're talking about, again, with Witty and this Carmilla pick. Egan, how are we feeling about the draft?
Yeah, I like the Belleric. Even the panel called it already. It's a good counter up against the Joy. Whenever the Joy decides to go for the electrifying beat rhythm, just one Wrath of Dryad can actually do the job and stun the Joy and keep them off their tracks.
Ah, man, the Belleric pick has been very interesting throughout M6, even back in the Swiss stage. It's great at locking down certain choke points, especially when you want to be able to move around the RWM, but we'll see if it's in RRQ Hoshi's plan to take it to a game 4 ahead of them instead of getting swept here by TLID, because right now they need the adjustments to come into play as they go ahead and start things up. TLID has been all over the map from game 1, game 2, able to go ahead and punish even just like this in the early game, really putting pressure on, knowing the limit of how much they can get away with, and even holding on to this.
Speaking of game number 1 and number 2, this is what has been happening. Aran just really dominating the XP lane, not letting Dyren play. He did use the Hilda twice, now it's going to be the glue, but still, it looks like it's the same story. An aggressive start on the XP lane.
Aggressive start right now. So far, that's been the trend or the theme of this series alone, again, against these two powerhouse teams from Indonesia, really knowing their own play style and how they like to roam around the map. But, you know, just like our panel kind of broke down earlier on, it just seems like, you know, some of the challenges that TLID face there going forward throughout the Swiss stage, they've really refined their gameplay and their game plan. And RRQ Hoshi, you know, they had a great time too. They were one of the first teams, or the first team, to secure the knockouts here. He's going to be able to get away. Fabian.
Another counter attack from RRQ Hoshi. Dyren and Fabian goes in. Susujin as well. Here comes the Revitalize coming in from Edok. Rins on the other hand trying to work on Widdy. Still no casualties for both of these teams, but this is RRQ Hoshi just saying that you can't repeat what happened during game number 1, game number 2, where you just keep on invading and invading without any response from the Kingdom.
You know, I think we have to wait to see what happens, especially after the first turtle breaks out, just because the nature of these two lineups and how they're going to work, it's already up. It's already going to be spotted up and started up by Sutsujin. So already using just the real-world manipulation to go ahead and just take it as quick as possible. So RRQ Hoshi will get the objective locked in and secured. First turtle of the game. Good decision there to go ahead and just take it, blitz it down.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi clearly having they're decisive now. They're really going for these kinds of decisions, wanting to commit. And now they have a slight advantage compared to game number 1, game number 2, wherein TLID was just really controlling the mid-river, the neutral objectives. And this might be an opening for RRQ Hoshi.
We'll see it once again. Skylar taking a couple shots here against Aaron Shiki. And when we look at these rotations and how they want to go, whenever you have the Suyo, you want to be able to put pressure on the jungle. And that's exactly what Susujin will do this time around. Like you mentioned, it's them in this game 3. It's RRQ Hoshi to set the pace and find even the space in enemy territory in the jungle to go ahead and take it if they can. But with Team Liquid ID's lineup, you know, this is a more of a slow burn, if you will. If you can't get things going with Fabian's Joy early on, it's really that later portion of the game where you start to shine. I mean, even the Bruno alone, early Haasklaus already picked up to just deal with the trading happening in the gold lane. And then again, having Witty here. Oh, hold on, top side.
Suchijin joins the picture now. Fabian with electrifying beats, but Dyron just going in for the Infernal Pursuit out, sustaining damage coming in from TLID, even forcing Aran to use a split just to walk away.
Very interesting too, you know, not even needing any revitalize up there because Witty's down here protecting that gold lane, and now they might make a play. Witty's gonna be fine, still holds on, and that's the thing, you know, with this Carmilla pick, is once you are able to go ahead and tank up some of that damage and then lay down the Curse of Blood and set things up, I'm wondering if they'll be able to capitalize on that, because Yehezkiel will most likely, I would say the majority of the time at least, take the real world manipulation like he has right now.
Yeah.
But we could see him change things up, you know? So far, every single lane though has just been a duel, you know, back and forth between the XP and the gold, while both teams just kind of the trio mid lanes go and rotate together, leading into this objective now. Second turn of the game going to be smarted up by RRQ Hoshi. But it looks like this time around, TLID still won't make it in time. So now 2 for 2. RRQ Hoshi building up on the gold lead now. Nice and comfortable at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is, even if we've seen a lot of... Oh, onto the bottom lane though. They want to extend their lead by trying to go for the gold lane. 4 members of RRQ Hoshi rotating down bottom.
Oh man, everybody's going to show up for this one. Witty taking a couple shots, RWM set up to cut them off.
Oh, but Yehezkiel has his own RWM. Now the tides have turned for TLID, trying to work on Edok, though Wrath of Dryad will connect. All the while, Skylar just dishing out the damage. That's why Fabian wants to go for the backline. Electrifying Beat's going to connect onto Skylar. They've not been able to bring him down, and they will do so successfully. A shutdown onto Skylar. Rins, split, will bring him down as well. Dyron doing his best with his Infernal Pursuit, but up against 4, that's too much for him to handle.
Oh man, they wanted the fight, and they tried, but Team Liquid ID comes out with the win in the exchange. Really great positioning from Aaron Shiki, even not to go down. And they were put pressure behind the turret, behind the tier 1, but RRQ Hoshi wasn't able to capitalize on it the way they wanted to.
Yeah, that was a good goal for Yehezkiel to pop the real world manipulation, forcing Edok to cast right away the Wrath of Dryad. That's why it gave an opening for Fabian to just go for Skylar with the electrifying beat, because there was no catch during that time. They were able to maximize the kit that they have because they know that RRQ Hoshi expended a lot on trying to bring down Yehezkiel.
I'm even surprised because Drian went in, he flickered forward, but still couldn't cap out a kill from it. So they're still killless here for RRQ Hoshi. But the fact that they got the objectives early on, you know, it's nothing too crazy. The gold lead that they had was diminished. So this is the adjustment time, and also where TLID's lineup starts to shine a little bit more. Maybe still they have a hard time getting this next turtle, but by the time we get to those lords, TLID will have the itemization that they need. We'll see, they're getting in position to go ahead and contest this as they rotate up here towards the top. Aaron Shiki starts it up, and Aran keeping them at bay for now, but Edok there also on the front side. Both teams still, Yehezkiel holding on to the RWM, has it available, so both junglers now getting in position. Skylar a part of this fight too. Doesn't have that much just yet, but they're gonna go ahead and stand off for the turtle. Taking a couple shots both, trying to set up the mages, trying to find that opening.
Okay, real world manipulation gonna be casted here, plus the Curse of Blood. Edok might be able to fall down though, but Witty on the other hand will fall down in exchange for Rins. An opening for TLID. They also bring down Edok. Now the counter attack coming in from RRQ Hoshi as they take down 3 with them. Suchijin Skylar is still alive.
Still alive. They're gonna force off the turtle here. Suchijin was starting it up, but with their jungler down, TLID can't secure it just unless Aaron Shiki actually brings it low enough for Suchijin. Taking a couple shots there, but Skylar there to help him out.
Aaron Shiki with a flicker though. He's got to walk away. Suchijin with a sever to bring down Aaron Shiki and gets the turtle as well for RRQ.
And there you go. Again, the pendulum swings now for RRQ Hoshi. Able to pick up the objective now, 3 for 3 in the turtles. We'll see if they can maintain the lead. Skylar definitely wanted to get revenge from earlier on, and he got it. Able to keep things together, but Fabian popping electrifying beats.
It's caught up by 3 with along with the assistance of Fabian. You're gonna break down Suchijin.
That was almost, you know, we could have almost said that was a solo kill, but it wasn't. But still trying there, of course, fighting in the jungle right now. But TLID has some work to do. They got to be able to go ahead and farm up what they need. Aaron Shiki, you know, hasn't had the best time to farm up on the Bruno, and Skylar as well. Both gold laners start to shine later on, but even looking at the itemization, Still working on the third one. Aaron Shiki, again, he had the Haskaloss rushed. He's now got the Berserker's Fury. And over on the other side, Skylar, BOD, Hunter Strike, now locked in. Still working on the next. Once that Malefic Gun comes up, that's always where we see the power spike, especially with the Bruno. So Witty, dropping the Curse of Blood.
Forcing out the flickers from RRQ. Hoshi, 2 real-world manipulations connecting. And TLID just trying to soak up the damage. Here comes the Thought Force to use the split to try and walk away.
Yeah, he's going to just go ahead, get out of there. Burning the split. It's going to be fine. He's tanky enough. You see it, he also picks up the Dominus Ice. So they're just trying to hold on to the tier 1. Again, these are so crucial leading into that first Lord. All for the space. Witty, though.
Okay, Witty with the Sun onto Rinz. Now the attack from TLID. Wrath of Dryad will connect, though. Fabian gonna chase after Rinz with an electrifying beat. Gonna take down one. Sutsujin on the other hand. They want to right back there. Rinz goes in. Infernal Pursuit. Gonna bring down Aaron Shiki. He's gonna fall down also. But the problem is TLID, they lost Aaron Shiki.
Oh, man. Dyra jumps in again, but under the turret. We'll just get told to sit down. No airtime for you. So 2 down, the 2-for-1 exchange. Lord is up now. RRQ Hoshi still holding on to a lead, but you can see how how they have to dissect these team fights because of the fact that we also usually see 2 real-world manipulations come up, and they have to play around that. Yehezkiel taking a couple of Rhapsody shots. Oh, bobbing and weaving, trying to get out. Oh!
One more. That's Sonata. But Witty is there to try and make sure to block out the damage coming in from Skylar. Now the Lord has respawned here. RRQ Hoshi, 5 members are surrounding the Lord pit.
RRQ Hoshi's going to blitz this. They're going to try to delay it for TLID. There they go,
and
but
they
it's
get
secured.
The Lord.
Sutsujin, again, all of that with Yehezkiel getting forced to basically go heal back up. They didn't have a choice, so they just see it. Great decision for RRQ Hoshi to go ahead and just secure the Lord.
It's really the pokes that comes from Skylar and the range also that you get from Rinz. Just look at that. Not even full committing, not even full diving onto the members of TLID. They're able to force TLID to walk away, to retreat, because the damage coming in from Skylar with the Death Sonata is just too much. And as they make quick work on the mid lane turret, they have that Lord up top.
They have the Lord pushing in. BOD now for Sutsujin. Also Skylar, you know, he picked up the Sky Piercer earlier on. So there was a little bit of push there from Fabian down in the bottom side. Might still try to cut that wave a little bit longer. Well, the rest of the team deals with this Lord. A Malefic Gun now for Aaron Shiki. Edok going in position.
Goins in, paired up with a real manipulation. Here comes the Death and the Queller to bring down Yehezkiel. 1 member down for TLID. They're trying to make quick work of this Lord. No inhibitor turrets will be taken down, but RRQ Hoshi, you know, they ain't playing around. They want to go for more. They're going to pop the energy shields in the mid lane. TLID has to defend this.
Energy shields are going to be popped. They still hold on, of course, after just that first push with the Lord. But man, RRQ Hoshi able to go ahead and cap out some kills, get turrets. This is exactly what they need. Fabian, though, might be starting a fight.
Oh, okay, electrifying beat is there. Forced to use out the Wrath of Dryad coming in from Edok. No casualties still for TLID, and they managed to save the inhibitor turrets.
That's really one of the things that TLID has to do. You know, if they can get the Wrath of Dryad ultimate out from Edok, then that's a big piece of utility that's gone, because that is locking down the members of TLID when they try to rush forward. We saw that exchange earlier on in the mid lane. And so that's why you see them working so hard for it, even if it's Aaron, even if it's Fabian to an extent.
Okay.
Witty, oh, they're going to press it in again.
Forced out the flicker from Skylar. Real manipulation coming in from Yehezkiel, but going to be taken down by the original one. Rinz is going to pick up a kill, plus Sutsujin, a double. And now Dyran enters the picture, going to bring down Aran and Aaron Shiki as well. A double for Sutsujin. Fabian has to retreat, but it looks like RRQ Hoshi, they're going to circle around Fabian.
Fabian on the run. Still in the mid lane. It's going to be pushed by Sutsujin. He's all left alone. Fabian, he gets out, but look at the base it's being worked on.
Now RRQ Hoshi, with a beautifully executed play, will manage to extend the series and take game 3.
RRQ Hoshi takes a game in the series. It's not going to be a sweep today, but TLID, great adjustment this time around with the draft, and the execution was exactly what they needed. Now, can they continue to do that? Can we get another 5-game series on our hands, just like we had in our first matchup? Well, for RRQ Hoshi, that's what they have to answer. Can they continue to do that? Can they taste the victory again in this 5-game series?
I think they can. They have to regain back their momentum. They have answered the problems that they've been facing for the past 2 games. And let's see how TLID will react towards a Game 3 loss up against RRQ Hoshi.
See what adjustments are made, but we'll also see what our panel has to say about this game. Gentlemen, what do you think about it?
The Kingdom is on the board, and when you're talking about the brawl in Bandung, there's no way you end it with a sweep. RRQ forcing us to go into game number 4. Gentlemen, was the answer all this while ban the Hilda?
I mean, it's been very effective, right? It's stopping them from engaging as easy as before. Stop Haran on what he's comfortable on, but also, you manifested it, Leo. You talked about the Belleric being a potential answer to the Joy.
I think it was stacking circumstance, like just the matter of the Hilda ban, the Belleric into the Joy, Skylar on a solid pick, the first pick Suyo and Sutsujin too.
Yeah, I feel like everything kind of worked out in that draft. For the first time, they felt a little bit in control, and the Hilda was definitely the first piece to complete the puzzle, right? It was the start of things working in their favor. And then once they have that, it gave them the ability to be able to go the Belleric. It gave them the ability to be able to counter the Joy and kind of stack things up along with Skylar.
For the first time in a while, Yehezkiel has died more than once. The Ghost has suffered 3 deaths in this game, and did I not say this? Did I not say that he's going to have to put himself in the line of fire more often here than he has in, what, half a dozen games in M6? And suddenly, things change.
It's starting to see the cracks in Team Liquid ID and RRQ Hoshi. Their castle is not looking to be sieged today. They're looking to go in for a game number 4, a chance to even out the series.
A solid stopper against the Cavalry's charge. More of that Valentina. We've seen this many times in many an esports event in MLBB Sports, where the Valentina struggles to find an ult to steal and just sits there. Because look, if you're... All right, we know for sure he wants to steal the RWM, yes? If you can't find Rins, what do?
You don't do anything. You sit there and you try to look and you try to search, or you die 3 times. Another thing that a hero that couldn't do much, the Carmilla, right? It felt okay. The idea was kind of there, but we saw a few times that Witty was only able to catch 1 person with that ultimate, only able to catch maybe 2 people with that ultimate. RRQ has a type of composition that has poke along with dive, along with Dyren, who's just all over the place. So there wasn't much target, and when they did catch 1 or 2, it felt like RRQ was just brute forcing through it. It's like, fine, we'll take this blood pack to the face, we'll take this curse to the face, and then we'll hit you back in the face, and they would win out on top of it.
And everybody had some decent damage from the side of RRQ, even Team Liquid ID. But I gotta ask you guys the question, right? We compare TLID and Fnatic, Onyx all the time when it comes to the X Factor picks, when it comes to out-of-pocket picks. And Fnatic Onyx, their struggle up against Falcons was the X Factor picks. That's when they started losing control of the series, and we're seeing the same pattern happen here again for our second series.
You're saying the download plus the lack of new tricks. At least executable tricks, because Liquid ID, you know, they made the DP work, the double poke, but now here, when they suddenly have these, you know, easy to rely on Valentina and Carmilla, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
I don't even think it was exactly that they did this as a cheese pick. I think they were, RQ for once kind of forced them into this by banning the Hilda, by taking the Eve early, by taking that CEO. It forced them to pick force Yehezkiel on a mage that isn't a backline mage. It forced Witty onto something other than the Cho, onto something other than what he's comfortable on. And it faltered.
And this is Liquid ID when they're passive, when they're not allowed to flow with what they want to do. And now suddenly RRQ is in the driver's seat. Let's see how the defending champions of Indonesia are able to clap back and regain momentum. Let's award our MVP this time around from RRQ. It's the mercenary, the babyface assassin. It's Sutsujin.
The Suyo able to dominate on the scene yet again. I mean, look at the build, screenshot it, do whatever you need to do. But he pulled through for the team, right? 5-1-4. KDA, just a force to be reckoned with. But again, I think this is just more the story of the draft, which is kind of leaning in on who's the victor for this series.
Yeah, they won that game before he was able to even get max items, and that just says something right
Oh yeah,
there.
very, very fast.
Very quick, and Sujujin played around those turtle pits very well. Able to control a lot, able to kind of hold back line, able to dash around, and use this Sujujin to the best of his ability. Now, one thing I want to point out too, in this matchup, very different than our last matchup, the Suyo has been winning out against the Joy. And whether it's due to the picks around it or not, it's just an interesting tidbit.
I think it is indeed that. It's no longer just the hero-to-hero individual stats. It's what's wrapped around it. And I agree, because again, folks, we're spelling it out for you. The draft just wasn't as well executed for Team Liquid ID here in game number 3. Hence why Sutsujin Suyo just run roughshod through game 3.
And you know what's funny? You know, I feel like during the beginning of M6, we were finding teams looking for ways to work around the Bruno. But now you're starting to see teams find a way to work around the Joy.
Yeah, finding ways to work around it or finding them to at least pick a comp that doesn't work.